Hi guys, I hope you've been well. Welcome back to the channel. This is Guest75 for Me Tech, and today we're gonna take a look at a nice device I've been using for a few weeks, the Xiaomi 13. Not the Pro, not the Ultra, no, the regular 13. Let's go. Well, it's clear Xiaomi wanted to try something new when you look at the Xiaomi 13, especially since it's the vanilla mainstream iteration, the regular Xiaomi 13 if you will. In my opinion, this is the biggest change to a Xiaomi flagship lineup in years. With its Pro and Ultra siblings sitting above it, this model needed something different to stand out from these heavier loaded siblings. And Xiaomi has decided to go with a change in size and a diverging design. As there is an enormous weight on the shoulders of this device, in this review we'll ask the question, can it deliver in the mainstream? Let's see and find out. Probably its most defining aspect is the design, so let's take a look at that, shall we? As already mentioned, this year Xiaomi went a different route with its flagship lineup. This entry-level option, instead of the curved lines served up last year, this time the device employs a boxy-like design, akin to that of most notably the Nothing Phone 1, which on its turn resembled the iPhone 12. The difference in ergonomics between the Xiaomi 13 and the aforementioned devices, however, is the back, where on the latter two the design includes a flat back. The Xiaomi 13 therefore employs a round, almost pillowy shaped, sculpted back, which I will say right now is a very nice and comfortable shape to hold. This gives a feeling of a very well thought out and meticulous design, not only in terms of looks, but also in terms of feel in the hand. As if the intention was to make this one of, if not the most comfortable phone to hold. It also seems they took that into account when deciding the phone's size, as it sits perfectly between the size of an iPhone 14 or Galaxy S23 and a Pixel 7. All three of them, of course, direct rivals to the Xiaomi 13. Similar to its rivals, the Xiaomi 13 now also offers complete ingress protection, and of course, class-leading wireless charging also makes a return, and similar to its rivals, the option of expandable storage or a 3.5mm jack remains absent. Of course, the centerpiece of any design is its screen. Strangely enough, as already described in the design portion of this review, the Xiaomi 13, unlike other years, the screen is now completely flat, again akin to that of the iPhone and Nothing Phone 1 design philosophy. The specs of the screen are also on the high end of things, with probably the biggest number being the very high brightness of nearly 1900 nits. The screen, of course, has all the usuals you can expect. This includes Full HD Plus resolution with support for HDR10 content and Dolby Vision, all capable of rendering at over 1 billion colors, all coasting along smoothly at a 120Hz refresh rate. All of this takes place on a Gorilla Glass 5 crafted display with a compact diagonal of just 6.36 inches. This flagship device is powered by the latest and greatest Android flagship chip, the 40nm based Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. In my opinion, the biggest leap in processing speed and efficiency since the Snapdragon 865. All the power with none of the heat and throttling. The chip is impressive, especially on the GPU part, which for the first time in many years is as equal in power, if not better, in the graphics department as Apple's latest chip, the A16, as it offers support for next-gen graphical technology such as ray tracing in mobile games. All of this is paired by an ample but not user expandable storage of 256 GB, with of course UFS 4.0 storage as standard. That is backed up by 8 or an optional 12 GB of RAM. Now onto the performance. Having said all that, the performance of the device holds no surprises, as it is smooth sailing throughout. Scrolling, multitasking, performing intensive tasks like heavy gaming is all lightweight duty for this device, and it performs on them effortlessly without breaking a sweat. When running a heavy game like the famed Genshin Impact, you really notice the ample power this chip delivers for this device. Of course, all of this is also helped by top-notch optimization in the software department, courtesy of Android 13 combined with Xiaomi's MIUI 14 skin. And speaking of software, yes indeed, it is of course Xiaomi's MIUI 14 on top of Android 13 running the show, as is a custom for Android devices coming from Xiaomi. And on here, like in previous flagships, mainly the 8 Gen Plus 1 powered devices, it runs smooth like butter, with great animations and thoughtful graphics and effects, helped by a smooth haptic motor which kicks in throughout the interface. All of this adding up to a very smooth and within Android seemingly a pretty specific and unique experience. As always, I'd like to add that on this channel I've grown to be a fan of this fantastic skin, with its nifty features such as the beautifully integrated so-called super wallpapers, which offers as of yet unmatched integration between the always-on display, lock screen and home screens. Another great feature is the ability of the Media Toolbox, which brings with it the ability to run YouTube with the screen turned off. Normally a paid feature for YouTube Premium, but here simply made possible by the phone's software skin. As you can guess from my experience with multiple Xiaomi devices, now MIUI for me is one of the very best iterations of the Android experience available right now. And on the Xiaomi 13, it perfectly adds to the premium and high quality experience on the device. So how to round up the day-to-day performance of this device? Now that we handled the interface, how can we describe this performance? The suitable answer, it's top tier regardless of platform. This means that this phone can handle any task you throw at it. The 8 Gen 2 is a really monumental step forward, especially compared to last year's 8 Gen 1 sans the Plus. All of this top-end performance comes without sacrificing any thermal throttling again. So whether it's gaming or extensive use of the camera, the Xiaomi 13 runs it all very smooth and fast. Of course helped by a well-optimized iteration of MIUI 14. Now on to the next defining part of this device. It might not be its highlight, but it is again a very large leap forward compared to its predecessors, and that are the camera arrays. The camera array consists of 3 lenses, a 50 megapixel one main lens with OIS and f1.8 aperture, a second 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3.2 optical zoom capabilities, also fitted with OIS, and a third, a 12 megapixel ultra wide with an f-stop of 2.2 and 120 degrees ultra wide angle. All pretty decent cameras and also allow for a very versatile camera experience. Again, it holds up very well compared to its competition. If we take a look at its pictures, I can say that the Leica optimizations are really helpful here, and also a key feature of all the new Xiaomi 13 flagship lineup. The images are very vibrant and pretty color accurate. Indoors, the camera isn't really that impressive, doing the bare minimum actually, which most of the times in good lighting gets average results at best. Contrast, especially in darker areas indoors leaves something to be desired. If we go back outside, then is where this camera really shines, with excellent detail and contrast and a lot of options to tweak whichever style you prefer. Also very notable is its good sharpness and very detailed pictures. At night, it is also very decent and can also tangle with the best in its class, with offering clear and visible and very distinguishable pictures. Its night mode is also a very nice bonus to have and can really help out if need be. Video quality of the device, especially during the day, carries over a lot of the good characteristics described in the still photo experience, with great contrast and details. Also, the sound is also very decent and also in stereo. So all in all, I can say the camera experience isn't leaps and bounds ahead of its competition, more so like on par. So for a good camera experience and an all-round camera experience thanks to finally adding a telephoto, you can have a very decent imaging capability on this device. Now on to the remaining features of this device. Of course, we haven't spoken about the selfie camera yet, and that isn't without reason, because again, like previous Xiaomi phones, as my friend Frankie Tech has already noted in his reviews, it's very disappointing to see the video recording on the front camera limited to 1080p. So again, here's hoping that Xiaomi seeks to upgrade this on their future devices. Other notable things are of course the battery array capabilities of Xiaomi devices, which are class leading for a few years now. This device has a lithium polymer battery of 4500 mAh. It enables a charging speed of 67 watts wired and 50 watts wireless charging, and also has 10 watts of reverse wireless charging capabilities. That is very impressive, with the phone charging by wire in a little from 0 to 80% in a little over 30 minutes, and wireless in a little over 40 minutes. So that is truly remarkable. Of course, the device has the typical Xiaomi features like the infrared sensor to be used as a remote, and also very decently loud stereo speakers. So now that we've handled everything, just before we close, let's talk about the general experience this device has left me with. Well, for the first time, there's a firm argument to be made for choosing this vanilla version of the Xiaomi 13 flagship lineup instead of its even higher end siblings. And that is this. Just like its peers, it offers all the power you could ever want or need in a phone in a relatively compact package. Just like its direct competitors, the Galaxy S23 and vanilla iPhone 14. Unlike those devices, however, the Xiaomi 13 doesn't present itself as solely an entrance point to the high-end experience, but really as a separate choice if you prefer the design and the style, as on that front it's arguably the most valid choice if you care about the design and aesthetics about the device, especially the in-hand feel, as I mentioned before. On the design front, it competes with the designer phones, of which most notably the Nothing Phone 1 and the upcoming Nothing Phone 2, of course. So all in all, it seems the Xiaomi 13 manages to offer the best of both worlds. Remarkable design and construction with uncompromised performance and endurance. Because yes, in terms of battery, the Xiaomi lasts through the day, even with heavy use, courtesy again of the great chipset used. It's not only a performance beast, but also highly efficient and above average, with battery endurance as a positive result. On top of all that, personally, I'm just infatuated with the handling and in-hand feel of the device. We've since already established that the device looks the part, but coupled with that, in my experience, the device also feels good in the hand. All part thanks to the rounded, ergonomically shaped back of the device. So, aren't there any caveats with the device? Well, of course, mainly the size and camera numbers. If you are looking for a bigger screen, this is not the device. Also, if you want a much better front shooter, it might even be sensible to consider another brand. Also, if you want a more than an all-round shooter and the top of the market specialist camera phone, you will also have to look elsewhere. Well, for both or most of the caveats, you could probably look at its more larger and luxurious siblings. But funny enough, the vanilla device has shown time and time again, even among the most successful Galaxies and iPhones, to be the most in demand and thus the most impactful of the device sales, and very important to the company producing them. And I'm glad to conclude that Xiaomi's offering in this space is one of the strongest there is, and more all-round than it's ever been. Well, that's been it for me in this video. I thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't yet, it would be a massive thank you if you could subscribe to the channel and like this video. That is very much appreciated. I leave you now, and be well, my friends. Until the next video. Cheers!